What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sim's Chat Corner. I'm guessing that you can all hear me. At least I hope you are. Today, it is my extreme pleasure to host one of the co-founders of both Dogs Love Kale as well as Twiggy's Cupcakes. So without further ado, let's see if we can get everyone on the line and then see if everybody can hear everybody. So just give me a second. I'm a little confused this morning, but we'll see. Hello?
Hi, Cindy. This is Paula. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Do I have Paula or do I have Dawn? I wasn't quite sure if I could hear you there because there was this dead silence, and I'm just wondering if people can hear me or not hear me. This is a first for my show. I'm like, usually you'll plug in and you'll hear the cue, and I'm like, there's dead silence. So you can hear me, right?
I can hear you perfectly, and Dawn is not with me right now, but she might be calling in, and I'm not sure if that's okay, but it'll...
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, I'll see the cue if she happens to call in, and we can always patch her in at any given point in time. It's just that Dana didn't warn me if it was going to be one of you or both of you. So that's fine. We're good. We're good either way. So good morning.
Okay, great.
Yes. Well, we have much ground to cover. I am very curious. I've done my research. I've done my homework. I've looked into all your different products. But I kind of want to start off with the foundation, which is, of course, yourself and Dawn, obviously, because any idea or concept obviously just starts as a piece of paper and then eventually evolves into something much bigger. So first off, if you don't mind, I'd like if you give listeners maybe just a background about yourself and had you been versed in the areas of nutrition or pets and things along those lines that kind of got you to where you are right now?
Well, I'll tell you, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and Dawn has been a personal trainer. So she's been very involved with nutrition and health and the benefits of working out and eating right. And that kind of rubbed off on me a little bit, which was great because what happened was I was working, and, of course, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're looking for that little something to have with your coffee, and any convenience store or coffee shop that you go into, I was finding myself staring aimlessly at donuts and muffins and whatever else I shouldn't be eating. And I would call Dawn and say, what do I do? What do I do? And that's really how we came up with Twiggy's Cupcakes. It was the need to have something delicious with your afternoon cup of coffee. And we developed the product. We wanted a low-calorie, healthy, nutritious snack. And that's how we came up with Twiggy's Cupcakes.
Just like that.
We really didn't have any background in baking or anything, but we did a lot of research with ingredients and what would be good. We added protein. We add whey protein into the cupcakes. We use coconut palm sugar, which is very low on the glycemic index. It's very healthy for you. Just things like that. We ended up making them gluten-free. Neither one of us have celiac, but we know that it's healthy to eat a gluten-free diet, as you know, if you can. So that's how we pretty much came up with the cupcakes, and we were selling them pre-made, and it just shipping them frozen and stuff kind of got a little difficult. So we ended up developing them into a cake mix. While all of that was happening, were having this healthy diet going on, we decided to make kale chips at home for ourselves. While we were eating the kale chips, our dogs were looking at us and wondering, like they usually do, what are you eating? What are you crunching on? And so, I don't really make it a point to give my dogs table food or anything, but I gave them a little piece, and they were freaking out over it. They absolutely loved the kale.
Really?
So then I found myself not sure if kale is okay for dogs. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on the internet to make sure I wasn't killing my dog by giving him kale. And
of course,
found out all these great health benefits that kale has for dogs. So then we started developing Dogs Love Kale. And that's how this all began.
Huh. Look at that. Now, the dynamic between yourself and Dawn, of course, were you just friends from the get-go, or were you business partner? I mean, how did that collaboration come about between you and her?
Well, Dawn and I are partners, and we've been together for the past 8 years. And I'm trying to think how to put it. Her attitude towards health and wellness really rubbed off on me, and it's great.
Mm-hmm. I imagine so, definitely. Were you longtime friends, or did you just get, were you acquaintances? How did this whole partnership come about?
We met through a friend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much just introduced through friends, and that was it.
No, I understand what you're talking about. Now, I want to note that, obviously, I started off with Twiggy's Cupcakes first, and I note that it was founded in 2010, so obviously you've been in business now for almost 5 years or so. Tell me something in terms of, because I myself am in the same business. I have a homemade truffle business on the side here, so I do that. And I know some of the complications here because I'm in Wisconsin. Obviously, I'm not where you are. But tell the listeners, because I'm sure there's a lot of women that are out there listening who've done homemade confections or who consider doing baked items, etc. Just what are some of the biggest challenges with maintaining a business such as that?
Well, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind are the financial challenges. If you want to start something, and again, you can't let that stop you. Where there's a will, there's a way. The challenges that we found, just with our product, we wanted to make it a grab-and-go convenient item for people. So, like I said, we were making them and shipping them frozen, and the product just was not as good when we did it that way. So we ended up making a mix. But if you're creating a product that you truly believe in, and we have had our ups and downs, you just need to stick with it. It's never going to be easy, and I could just, it sounds so, I don't know, everybody says nothing worth anything is easy, and it's still hard for us. The cupcake mix, we've only been able to get it into a few stores. The dog treats, Dogs Love Kale, has surpassed that, and we've been really concentrating on that. But the connections that we're making with the dog treats, we're able to come back around and now pursue the cake mixes because it's a product that we so believe in that should be available to people. There's nothing like either of these products available. And if you create something that you believe in, no matter what it is, you got to just fight the battle and stick with it because it's hard. It's easier to quit. And it's been that way for us a few times, and we have forged on.
I love that ideology.
Yeah.
In fact, Dawn is actually on the line right now. I'm going to patch her in real quickly.
Oh,
so
great.
just hold on for just a second. We'll see if we can get her on. Then we'll have a three-way here, which works out nicely because then we can talk to her too. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
We're all here now. Okay, so it's all three of us.
Yeah, I was just able to connect about a minute ago, so I don't know what Paula has spoken about up until about a minute ago.
Okay.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to be
we'll
here.
Get you caught up here. Oh, well, it's my pleasure, of course. We were actually just talking about, we started off just basically doing a background, meaning finding out about Paula and her background in terms of where she came from, how the two of you merged together in terms of partnering-wise, how you knew one another. We've now started our discussion about Twiggy's Cupcakes in part. So before we continue that conversation, I want to backtrack, Dawn, since you're on the phone now, and just tell listeners a little bit about your background in terms of, I understand you have a background as it comes to nutrition/fitness, which of course has benefited Paula greatly as well, as we hear. So tell us folks a little bit about yourself and the contributions that you bring to the table with this partnership.
Well, I'm 25 years in the health and fitness industry and working mostly in New York City and east end of Long Island called the Hamptons. And, when we started the business, as you know, it was with the cupcake business, and we really wanted to bring something healthy to the public. And I guess that's where I mostly fit into the business is the nutrition end and what I wanted to see in this product, such as the whey protein. But Paula is mostly the brains of the operation. She's the driving force, and I am her right-hand man, so to speak. So Paula really does get most of the credit.
Oh, stop that.
Look at that. And she was I was just going to say, she was speaking very highly of you, and how funny that you speak very highly of her. But you know what? That's a partnership we're all about, obviously. You need the both of you. The both of you are needed to make it work, obviously. So that kind of goes without saying. All right, so let's switch gears. We'll go back to the cupcake thing a little bit. To those of you that have never heard of Twiggy's Cupcakes before, one of the hugest, in my mind, benefits is, of course, obviously the level of protein versus the level of sugar. Like, for instance, there's approximately 7 grams of protein and then 4 to 7 grams of sugar per each particular product that's made, which to me, I mean, obviously screams to women, yes, 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 love, 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 obviously because you're getting the protein versus the sugar. My question is, because I'm a novice and or idiot when it comes to the nutritional side of things in terms of products like this, just how difficult, what sort of symmetry or science is there to this? How did you figure this out? Does somebody just go into a lab and say, hey, here's how this works? Do you know what I'm saying? Kind of take us through the process of how you determine from start to finish what components were going to be in this product, nutrition-wise and flavor-wise as well, because something can be nutritional and just not taste very good.
Paula, you want to take
Go ahead, Dawn. I'll let you take care of that one.
Well, it wasn't easy, and we were in the kitchen quite a bit, and we did come out with a few belly bombers, so to speak, and it did take a long time to get the right combination of flour and protein, not too dry. You want to get it just moist, and that's really how it went. You're in the kitchen for a very long time, discovering the right recipe.
It was a lot of trial and error with different ingredients and just getting it to work right, because what made it even more difficult was that we don't use any oil or butter. We use only unsweetened applesauce. So to get a delicious, moist cupcake by using applesauce, gluten-free flour, it wasn't easy. And to have it just the right amount of sweetness but not too sweet, and to use a healthy sugar, it was all very important to us. And then to have protein in it so that if you do eat it, you get benefits out of it. It's not just wasted 125, 150 wasted calories.
I understand completely. The other thing, too, which I think is really neat, is they use 100% recyclable containers. So obviously not only is it a healthy product, but, of course, you're containing it in something that's recyclable. Kudos to you guys as far as that goes. How many actual flavors have you developed thus far? So let's say I walk into a store or I go to order these, I should say. Just how many different selections or varieties do you have at this point?
Well, right now, Cindy, I had mentioned that we're not making the pre-made cupcakes and shipping them anymore. We still have our website up that shows that, which we're in the process of changing. What we're selling now is a mix, and we have 4 flavors. One is called Black Velvet. It's chocolate, and in all of the mixes, we include a separate little package that you make the icing with also. So you make the mix with unsweetened applesauce and eggs. That's it. And to make the icing, we recommend that you add the little package of mix to a low-fat cream cheese. So you're getting protein from that also. So we have 4 flavors. Black Velvet is chocolate. Yin Yang is chocolate with vanilla icing. We have Beta Carotene, which is carrot with vanilla icing. And Almondina, which is almond with vanilla ice cream. Icing. See where my mind is at?
It's early, ladies. Okay, so don't worry about it. That's okay. That is all right. Okay, so you've got it. And they're all basically, even though they're different flavors, they're all pretty much made the same way. So the base is the same thing, what you mean, meaning the eggs, et cetera. You're adding the same components to every single flavor no matter what you do. I've gotcha. Shelf life on these in terms of being out versus being refrigerated or frozen. Can you talk about that? How long will these actually physically last you? Let's say if it's somebody like me out of town getting it from you. Once they're made, by the way. Not obviously in the cake form.
Once they're made. Well, once they're made, just like any other cake, you can keep it on, because it has, if you make the icing with the cream cheese, you should keep them refrigerated. And I would thaw them out, just let them get to room temperature before you eat them. But I would say the best way to enjoy these are to make them and eat them.
I knew you were going to say it. I can eat them. That sounds wonderful to me. I'm getting hungry just listening to this. The other thing that y'all should know, that you that are listening in, I saw how very cool is this, because I've been wanting to get on this program. You were at QVC Studio Park promoting your project, or I should say your product, rather. What is that experience like? Because I've had other guests that have come on QVC, and they find it to be a great funnel product, etc. What was your experience like there? Do you find that things are more successful in the TV platform, meaning when you're on television? Because I know, obviously, it wasn't so long ago that you were also featured on Good Day Orlando.
Well, Dawn would probably be able to answer that best because she was the face of Twiggy's on QVC.
Ah, wonderful.
QVC gives you great exposure. It also gives you a great platform to explain your product to the community. It was a fun experience, I got to be on TV, and they taught me things about the media that, I would never have known before, and they gave me some media training, and, all of that's very fun. It's also very nervous, the first time you're on.
Sure.
But all of that aside, I found it to be just a great way to explain your product. Because, if somebody walks into the food store and sees my product, they're just going to think it's another cake mix until they read it and all of that. So it, in terms of public awareness, I think it's a very positive thing.
And if I were to ask the both of you, and this question to both of you, do you find that, what would you think is your trigger for success in terms of what do you think makes this product so popular? Why do you think that, men, women, et cetera, why are people lining up to get a product such as this? Where do you think the success comes from? Do you think it's the nutrition base? Do you think it's the flavoring? Do you think it's, what is it about your product that's so unique and special?
I think the first thing is we're unique. Both of our products are very unique, very eye-catching, very nutrition-oriented, health-conscious. And again, our brand is very, very eye-catching and appealing. And then once you get the customer to, grab our packaging and look at it and read it, they'll see that it's very healthy and very appealing.
Right, like Cindy, we use very high-end ingredients. Just for instance, the chocolate that we're using in the chocolate mixes, we could have used just a regular cocoa powder, but we're using a red cocoa powder, which makes the cupcakes absolutely delicious. And again, coconut palm sugar. It's an expensive product or ingredient, I should say, to use in a product like this. But it's worth it because...
And nobody else is doing it. Nobody else will take the extra step that we've taken to put these extra ingredients. Anybody can give you a gluten-free cake, but you turn around and you look at the ingredients and there's, high fructose corn syrup or there's white sugar in it, and it's what you think you're getting a healthy product just because it says gluten-free. You're really not.
Yeah, and I think also the organic, the word organic sometimes is misleading to people. They'll see on a label 100% organic, and it's organic sugar, it's organic white sugar, and it's things that people have to start to become very aware of what they're giving themselves and their children. Like cupcakes like this, if you would give these to your kids, it's better for them to have the coconut palm sugar as opposed to a white sugar because of the what is it, Dawn? What's the difference in the white sugar and the coconut palm sugar? The glycemic index.
Yes. The coconut palm sugar has a low glycemic index, whereas most other sugars will spike your insulin levels.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, I was just going to say if you want to explain that, but I see you did well on that because I'm like, people hear that and they sometimes wonder, what does that mean? What is the deal with that?
Right.
I understand what you mean. Now, to those that are listening in that have not heard of your product before, in terms of, is this a costly product, meaning that is this a relatively inexpensive snack, or what are we looking at in terms of purchasing your product, just so that people have some idea when they go online and take a look and want to purchase something like this?
Well, our suggested retail price is $9.99 for the cake mix. But you have to keep in mind you're getting the mix and the icing mix. So price-wise,
and a high quality product.
Right.
Okay.
So
I gotcha. And then the typical cake mix. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
I was going to say I don't think it's priced too high for what you're getting. You're getting the mix. If you had to go and buy a gluten-free mix and a separate icing, you could be paying $12.
And, of course, if you buy one particular mix, let's say, for instance, you get the icing with you, approximate numbers, just throw it out there, how many can people expect to yield out of a particular batch?
12.
Yeah, 12 cupcakes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So when you break it down like that, it's actually really reasonable when you think about it price-wise. That was the whole point there.
Sure.
Just to throw that out there. So obviously people sometimes think, oh, it's so pricey and expensive. But when you break it down in terms of that, it's obviously much more affordable. So I've got you. Okay. So now let's switch gears again because we're going to go over to the Dogs Love Kale side of things. But first, before I do that, I want to start off by asking, and this is just a curiosity question. Now, do you all both have dogs and pets, et cetera, which is kind of what weaned you in the direction of doing something for a pet sort of snack?
Yes, we have dogs and cats.
Both of you? Yeah,
Yes.
And just the pet thing in general, because most of the time when people are developing a product, they usually have the one pet or multitudes of pets, or for some strange reason they kind of venture out and do another product.
Right.
Right. No, we both have dogs together and 2 cats.
Oh, wow.
And that's how,
a lot of maintenance.
like I had told you, say that again, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just thinking to myself, my goodness, with having a business that's successful and all of the demands on your time, I'm thinking, I have 1 cat, and I'm lucky enough to have an hour's worth of time every day to be able to spend with her. So I'm just wondering how you're managing, how you micromanage everything. Does that make sense? Like, how do you breathe at night, That makes sense?
Right.
Well, you gotta
the mornings are fun,
people don't realize
that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine so. I do. But if you love, obviously, if you have a pet that you love and adore, obviously that's part of your life. That's part of your family. You make the time, obviously, as we all know. I just find that interesting. I'm like, how do these people have time to manage all of this? Really? I mean, I'm bewildered.
You just do because you love them.
Well, exactly. That kind of goes without saying. Now, for those that are, once again, because a lot of new listeners often come in on the show, explain to them, because I know that we had started off talking about the inception of how you came up with the Dogs Love Kale concept, of course, which is, of course, you were making the kale chips, and then it developed along into that. Tell everybody, how long has your Dogs Love Kale business been up, and how are things going so far in terms of acceptance by community, et cetera, not only in your area, but through the various events that you've done thus far?
Go ahead, Paula.
Do you want to answer that, Dawn?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Go for it, ladies.
We named the product Dogs Love Kale because we want people to know, and the tagline is, and it's good for them too, because we just wanted people to know that dogs love kale. It's pretty basic, and a lot of people in the beginning were saying, really? Do they? I can't imagine that my dog would love kale. And then once they give the treats to their dogs and they see how they react and how much they love it, the whole attitude changes. And we have such limited ingredients. I mean, most of our treats have 4 or 5 ingredients, and that's it. We don't use any preservatives.
Right.
It's so the community, it's been taking a while for, not too long. I have to say it's only been a year where Twiggy's has been ongoing for the past 4 or 5 years or so. But people are starting to accept that dogs love kale.
Okay, I have another question relative to that, and this to me just seems, and forgive me because I don't have a dog, but I'm just trying to get knowledge of this, because one of the things that common sense-wise I was thinking to myself is, did you harbor any apprehension in terms of, okay, what if this reacts negatively with a pet or a dog, et cetera? Do you know what I mean? Are those anxieties out there when you produce a product such as this?
Well, that's with anything. Do you mean... like if the kale or the treat itself would have like a dog would have a bad reaction to the treat?
Yes, that's correct.
I never had that concern. I don't think Dawn did either, because
based on our own dogs. Our first dog, the reaction from our dogs, I don't think we gave it a second thought what other dogs would think. And we've had the pickiest of dogs love our product. So I don't, I'm not afraid. And there are some dogs, I'm sure, that just, they don't like it just because they're used to maybe eating people food, or, their mommies and daddies give them hamburger all the time or something, and that's just all they look for. But
Cindy, did you mean more in the way of like dogs getting sick from the product?
Right, because I know that I've talked to, other individuals, like, for instance, I have girlfriends that do food products like myself, and so obviously, of course, there's health issues, there's all those requirements you have to follow through and such, and I just wasn't sure, because this is a different realm. It's not like a person, it's a pet now. So then I wonder if,
right.
Organizations get more stringent about, okay, you have to watch this and have enough content of this or that. Do you follow what I'm saying? Just to make sure that it's safe for all parties concerned. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, again, our ingredients are very high end. We've been certified 100% sourced and made in the USA. All of our ingredients are from the United States, except for we have a new flavor called Tropical Delight, which has coconut and banana in it, which you can't get in the United States. But we are getting them from the ingredients from South America, and those happen to be organic. We don't have that they're organic on the label because, again, it's, there's a lot of restrictions with using the word organic. But anything we're using in Twiggies and in Dogs Love Kale are very high-end ingredients. And we also are making the treats in a facility that does not make any other dog food or dog products or anything there. So there's no risk of any kind of cross-contamination with regards to any animal byproducts. And, a lot of that has been happening with products coming out of other countries, and we want to avoid that at all costs.
Of course, that makes sense. And to those of you that don't know, I know that you're obviously members of the American Pet Products Association, so further that stands to speak for itself right there. Obviously, you have that, you have the seal, so of course you're everything you're doing is right in the ballpark, of course. But I just, like I said, it seemed kind of common sense to ask the question to those of us who are novices when it comes to dogs and products and things like that. I'm just kind of learning through you guys, so to speak, obviously.
Of course,
now,
and just recently somebody asked us if we've thought of making a beef or chicken flavored treat that has kale in it. And honestly, I said to them, that's not something that I foresee in the near future. It could happen, but I would need someone else on board that knew more about using those type of products than we do.
Of course.
That would be very important to us. We were going to go into that direction. But right now, we're happy with the product that we've created.
Oh, I imagine so, definitely. And just to give some backstory here to you folks that are listening in, the product itself is composed of rice flour and kale and whole oats and flaxseed, of course. So it's an all-natural gluten and a wheat-free snack as well, which I find is nice. And the nice component, what I don't think people understand about kale is, in terms of dog-wise, it improves, obviously, not only the dog's coat itself, but it provides for healthier skin, of course, adds fiber to a dog's diet, so it's 150% healthy for a dog, both outside and inside, which I think is one of the nicest components about the product that you have. And again, I'm not sure if I asked this question. I don't think I did. But the recipe itself, you make it, hand it to someone, and they do it, or is this a partnership effort, between yourself and like-minded individuals?
Well, Dawn and I developed the recipe. And again, it was a lot of in the kitchen, practicing, and making sure that the consistency was correct and that we had the right balance of ingredients. As things started to expand, we started working with a co-packer that we used when we were making the pre-made cupcakes. So because things have, started to really take off, we have a co-packer that we work with that makes our treats. And like I said, they don't make any other dog food products at all in their facility.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And in terms of lead time, I'm just curious, from start to finish, let's say they have the recipe, okay, they, of course, create this. Is production time relatively short, or is this a process where, in terms of making batches over and over and over again, is it timely in terms of you have to wait a significant amount of time to get your product?
Well, as soon as we receive a large order, we produce enough for that order, and it takes a couple of weeks. They're very good with making the product as we need it on time, and we just recently acquired 2 distributors, and we've had to do a couple of large batches for them. We've also been lucky enough to be involved with BarkBox, which is a monthly subscription box where they've ordered between 30 and 50,000 bags of our product at one given time. So our facility's very capable of making as much as we need and as soon as we need it.
Wonderful. Definitely. And adds to efficiency, certainly. I mean, if somebody wants to run out and get it, that's absolutely wonderful. Next question for you, because I know very recently you had participated in the Global Pet Expo amongst other different places where you've been out and about with your product. Just tell us a little bit about how successful that was, and in terms of, did you learn anything from some of the fellow vendors or things that you took away with you that kind of benefited your business and yourselves in terms of purging forward?
Okay, Dawn, your turn.
And it got quiet all of a sudden.
The show was very successful for us. We came away with a distributor in Canada who already has purchased a sizable order from us, and we also came away with 2 national distributors from this show, which it's a very big deal. And we also hired a salesman who's been in the industry for over 35 years, who's got major connections with distributors and retail buyers. And those 3 things alone the most successful that we took away from the show. And just the excitement of the show and meeting people and the thousands of independent retailers that have come to our booth and just said wonderful things about our product and also, gave us purchase orders at the show. Just a wonderful, positive experience, and we're very happy with the outcome of the show.
I just want to add something to that, walking around that show before it opened the first day and looking at all great products and the foods and the treats and toys and everything, it could get very it was a little scary to me because there's a lot of different products for buyers to choose from to put into their retail locations, and same thing with distributors. And I started walking back to the booth, and I was just so thankful and happy that our product is so different than anything else that's out there. And that was a good learning experience for us, I think.
And, of course, with every
experience
there's a lot of that, like, for instance, when I go... I was just going to mention that. I know that, what's neat about that is, yes, even though we all have competitors in whatever industry or business that we're in, you can learn and take away things from that, and it kind of can better your product, better your experience, that sort of good stuff. So sometimes competition isn't always a bad thing, I guess I find, in certain fields and such, but, it's one of those experiences that you obviously take with you and such. I wanted to talk about 2 things that I really thought were neat that the girls did, just so you listening in know this. And I'd like you to talk about both of these. First of all, I thought it was really cool that you did this contest for the best video for Dogs Love Kale, which I think is cool. So I'd like you to talk a bit about that. And then, of course, you also signed on with doing a Smile.Amazon campaign for the Last Chance Animal Rescue. So just talk a little bit about both those entities, how you got involved, and what was the end result for both of those. How well did that do for you?
The Last Chance Are you talking about something that's coming up?
Well, I actually saw it on, if I'm not mistaken, it's on your Dogs Love Kale site, actually. There was a notation, and there's a link up there that says the Smile Amazon campaign. You can choose particular Amazon campaigns and support them. So in this case, on your page, there's a Smile Amazon campaign link, and it's for the benefit of Last Chance Animal Rescue.
Do you know, Cindy, I did that when we first developed the product. And the reason that we chose that, or I think I did it. I don't remember if Dawn was involved or not. The reason that we chose Last Chance Animal Rescue was because we had rescued a cat from them, and you know, I was just so appreciative to them of how we know them very well from living on Long Island. And just the things that they've done in the community for animals and stuff. And I was just so happy to find, his name is Frankie. I was so happy to find Frankie at Last Chance that I wanted to be able to give something back to them. So that's how that came about. The video contest was in the very, very, we put that on our Facebook page. And that, I think, was in the very beginning when we developed the product. And I don't know that we had some people that entered, but I think that's something that we should do all over again, because now more people are aware that we exist. And we get some fun videos, I'll tell you that. We just got one recently where the dog is actually speaking, and it was fantastic.
Oh, I imagine. I definitely imagine so. Now, is this something that's ongoing, or can people still enter into this, or when is the cutoff in terms of that?
Well, you know what? That happened already. I mean, I'm going to say it was a year ago, but I think what I'm going to do after our phone call is I'm going to put on our Facebook page another contest, and the details, whatever we decide to do, will be on that.
Wonderful. We look forward to that, obviously. Yeah. I would like to notate a couple different things to those listening, and obviously these are just absolutely wonderful attributes. You are the 2014 Martha Stewart American Made Award nominee for your product. You've had write-ups done in both City Dog Blog and City Dog Magazine, amongst other places. And the one thing that I wanted to mention that we should talk about, which is a new development, which is you just picked up 2 new distributors, meaning Frontier Distributing and National Pet Distributors. Did they come to you? Did you go to them? How did that formulation occur?
National Pet Distributors actually did come to us. They found us, and Frontier found out about our products through a sales team that we are working with. And they, both companies, absolutely love the whole idea of our product. It seems like the more that people are finding out about it, they're starting to get it. You know, and just to backtrack a little bit, when we were talking about the ingredients in the treat and there not being any chicken or beef, and it's a very low-calorie treat. And I want to just emphasize that it's a treat. This isn't for and there are health benefits to this treat. It's not the dog's main meal. And it doesn't have to have chicken or beef in it for a treat. Right?
A treat is a treat in essence is a treat, I guess. That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, wait, if you're going to call it a treat, it's an actual treat. You know, when you look at the meat side of things or other side of things, that's different. So I know what you mean.
I mean, it's kind of like our cupcakes. It's a treat, and it's something for the dogs. Right, just like you might grab a piece of chocolate. You know, it's not your dinner, although it could be sometimes.
That's cute. Very cute. Okay. Yeah, and that must be exciting, too, because now the list is going up in distributors and places. And can you tell us approximately now, as far as for both products, do you have these in stores all over the place? Is it just limited to New York City? And this is just store-wise, not internet, but I mean just store-wise. How many people have picked you up?
Well, if you look at our Dogs Love Kale website, there's a store locator that shows you everywhere that you can buy the product. There's actually more that we're going to start to add now because of Global Pet Expo. We, picked up, had to be another 100 stores, and this is without these two distributors that we're talking about. So the list is growing, and we're in stores all over the country with Dogs Love Kale. With the Twiggy's cupcake mixes, right now we're in a couple of Whole Foods in the Northeast and also Wegmans supermarkets. And
oh yes,
the mixes are starting to really take off, but the dog treats, you can buy them anywhere, all over the country, almost anywhere, close to wherever you are.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's amazing. It blows my mind. I'm like, and I am a huge supporter, of course, of women in business in terms of women having their own business and being successful and offering out of the norm products, so to speak, which you're succeeding in by leaps and bounds, which I find is just fabulous. The one thing I didn't cover here is, of course, I know that the Dogs Love Kale product line, you mentioned the new flavors, of course, one of which being the Tropical Delight, and then you, of course, have your Sweet Tater, and then there's a total of 5 flavors, if I'm not mistaken. So if you could just talk to the audience in terms of those 5, and do you yourselves, for your dogs, do they have a particular favorite that they like as far as that? And on the cupcake side, do you have a particular favorite you have?
Haha. Go ahead, Dawn.
Well, I'm not sure if I understood the first part of the question, just because of my cell phone cutting out. Did you ask what are the 5 flavors, or what are the other?
So that people know
the
5 flavors. The 5 flavors total, and then speak a little bit, of course, about the newest flavors, because of course those have not been out nearly as long as the other 3.
Well, the first 3 that we came out with are apple, pumpkin, and peanut. All natural flavors and wheat-free, wheat and gluten-free. And then the other 2 flavors are, as you just said, Sweet Tater and Tropical Delight. And those are grain-free and wheat-free. As for favorites, our dogs' favorites, it doesn't matter. They love them all. The kale, the kale in our cookies, in our treats, the kale offers such a significant flavor and smell. Mm-hmm. So whatever we add it to, whether it's the pumpkin or the banana, it doesn't matter to them, because I think the kale is so significant and so different. So they'll eat any one of them. Any one of them they'll eat. Other dogs that we've come across do have favorites. The most popular, I would say, is the peanut, the Sweet Tater, because sweet potato is already out there on the market as far as that flavor. I think that'll be another popular flavor. Pumpkin, they're all, we chose the right flavors that we know dogs love.
Right, and we developed the second two flavors to be wheat and grain free, because one of our dogs has allergies and he has to have a grain free diet. So we couldn't, and we only found that out a month or so ago. So when we found that out, maybe a little bit longer, 3 or 4 months ago, but when we found that out, we wanted him to be able to have our treats. So we developed these 2 new flavors, and those are made from chickpea flour, kale, flax, and sweet potato for the Sweet Tater, and coconut and banana in the Tropical Delight. But they really love them all. When we have to like I've had to go and leave on a couple of meetings, I say to the dogs that I'm off to go share Dogs Love Kale with the rest of the dogs in the world. And they look at me and I think they know what I mean.
That's cool. That's neat. I do think that they know when you communicate with them and that you're speaking, and I think they have a sense of that, which is neat. You know, I like I said, pets are like family, and so you're off and you're doing something for your family and doing it in a productive manner that's healthy for them, that's enjoyable for them, which is definitely a good thing. One of the last questions I wanted to ask you is, so what beholds the future? What can we expect from your businesses in the future? What are your ultimate goals, let's say, within the next year in terms of expansion, not only of the business but of the products themselves?
Oh, boy. Well, I think right now we're pretty set with the products. The goal now is to be able to share them with the world. I mean, really, I want to be my favorite. In answer to the what's your favorite cupcake would be the chocolate.
Oh, yes.
I think people should be able to have, right? People should be able to have a delicious chocolate cupcake that's not 400 calories. And
right.
I want so much. My neighbor's niece was just talking to me across the yard yesterday because she had sent her niece a couple of bags of mixes to make, and this kid absolutely loves them. And she's very health conscious, again like Dawn, fitness oriented, and just so excited that she can have a cupcake like this and not feel bad about it. And the same thing with the dog treats. It's, you know, again, it's a low-calorie treat for dogs that they love, and I love giving it to them. It's a crunchy treat, and when they crunch on it and I can see that they're enjoying it, I mean, that's really what motivates us to keep going, those things.
And that means now in the future, do you envision doing a third product as well? That was one of my other questions was, now that you've got the cupcakes, you've got the kale product, might you do another on either side of the fence?
Well, we do have something that we're thinking about, and I'd hate to give that away right now.
Oh, no. Well, I'm not going to make you give it away.
You can keep
it
animal.
yourself. Wonderful. Well, this is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's exciting. I mean, it's good to keep, integrating different products and more and more things, which is absolutely awesome. It's very exciting. Business is all about growth and development, as we all know, so little by little, certainly. There's two last things I want to do before I let you ladies go, because I can't believe how quickly this time goes. It's like you start, and within an hour, the entire thing just goes. It's amazing to me. I don't want to forget to go through this rundown of things in terms of how people can find you social media-wise, but I want to just take a moment, of course, to not forget to do this, because I do this every time. Dana Humphrey, who is, of course, one of my favorite publicists in the whole wide world, one of my most favorite people in New York City, because New York is like a second home to me. I just want to say thank you so much, Dana, from me to you, as I always do every time. She always brings me some of the most phenomenal, top-notch, well-accomplished individuals. And so I can't thank you enough, Dana, for bringing these two lovely ladies to my attention and their products as well. So I don't want to forget that. Let me just go through the rundown here. The websites for the ladies, we have dogslovekale.com, also twiggiescupcakediet.com, two Twitter handles, which are at Dogs Love Kale and at Twiggies Cupcakes. You also are on YouTube, Amazon.com. You both have, of course, personal pages on Facebook, and, of course, the Facebook pages Dogs Love Kale and Twiggies Cupcakes. Any other place where anyone can find you, social media or otherwise?
We do have a Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
We don't want to forget that. And that would be?
Dawn, what's our Instagram? Is it Twiggies Cupcakes?
I don't know if I have a different Instagram.
Okay. Well, I bet usually it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Twiggies Cupcakes or Dogs Love Kale or something like that.
Yes.
I think it's Dogs Love Kale.
Okay.
Paula.
Okay.
Sorry,
gotcha.
folks.
All right.
Well, that's
any
pretty much it.
Any other thing that we're missing? That is pretty much it. Okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to leave you guys with, because I was sitting here and thinking about this, and I'll just kind of throw this out there for general discussion as our last closing point, which is I very, very, very luckily in the last week just got the go-ahead for myself to open up my own store here in Wisconsin, which I'm so excited about because I've been a writer a long time. I get to have my truffles. I get to have my books. I get to have a mafia section. I get to show films. I mean, it's going to be very exciting. And I thought to myself before I got online today, I thought to myself, I wonder if I asked these lovely ladies if they'd have any interest in possibly carrying their products in my store, what they might say. So I'm kind of throwing it out there to see what you say.
Of course, and congratulations.
Oh,
we would be honored.
Thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
It would be very exciting.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm always looking for new and interesting products, and of course, obviously, I have a truffle line. But the difference between my truffles and your cupcakes is everything goes to the waste. I do try to keep it, fat-free and all that good stuff. But I'm like, this is a bad treat. I'm not going to lie about it. If you want bad stuff that tastes wonderful, just buy my truffles. I'm like, and they're addicting. But you guys are kind of the complement on the opposite side of the fence. So you're healthy, nutritional, and I'm just all about bad. But that's me. But I would love to. I mean,
that's right. But you know what? If there's nothing wrong with indulging, now and again, it's not something that you have to have every day. Same thing with the cupcakes. You have a cupcake one day, you have a truffle one day, and it all balances out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I thought to myself, well, I got them on the spot right here. I'm like, I'll throw it out there. We could talk about that. So I would absolutely love that. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we can get orchestrated off of air and get that work together because I'm in the process of trying to get it opened up. It'll be about a month before everything is in there and all that stuff moved in. And so we can chit-chat after the fact on that. But I just wanted to make sure to say to both of you ladies, kudos to both of you, not just, like I said, for having a successful business, but doing something that's not only healthy conscious and nutritional, but it's also something that just logically makes sense, that's affordable, economical, and it's something that's just a very efficient product, for lack of a better term. So kudos to both of you ladies. I'm hoping that my journey and my travels will get me to New York City where I can at least meet one, if not both of you, and shake your hand and tell you how wonderful I think you've done in terms of your product. As far as that goes and such. And I just can't thank you enough for both of you taking an hour out of your day just to come on my little show. I appreciate it more than I can tell you.
Well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem at all,
thank
ladies.
You.
I look forward to working with you in the future. Oh, certainly, definitely, without a doubt. You guys enjoy your day, and I hope to look forward to talking to you in the very near future.
Great.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, ladies. Have a good day.
Bye.
You too.
All right, folks, that is Paula Savarese and Dawn Ward, and they are both, of course, a president and co-founder of the two organizations we were discussing, which is Dogs Love Kale as well as Twiggy's Cupcakes. I want to do the rundown one more time. They both have a Facebook personal page, Facebook pages for their businesses, which, again, of course, Dogs Love Kale and Twiggy's Cupcakes. Websites being dogslovekale.com and twiggy'scupcakediet.com. They can also be found on YouTube and Amazon. Their Twitter handles are at Twiggy's Cupcakes and at Dogs Love Kale. And, of course, look for them also on Instagram. Once again, thank you so much to both of the ladies as well as to Dana Humphrey for organizing another just an amazing show with amazing individuals. She always brings me the best. Same thing with Michael Stover and all my publicists. I'm a very lucky woman. Want to remind everybody that, yes, I was just going to say Wednesday. Hello, tomorrow's Thursday. We have a surprise guest and a surprise time, apparently. No, I'm actually waiting for confirmation to find out exactly what time she'll be on. And once I do, I'll make sure to publicly put that up on my personal page try that again, Cindy. I'll put it up on my personal pages as well as all of my show pages. Obviously, a reminder to all, Friday, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, we have Chicago musician, and he is a fabulous guy, fabulous musician, and hopefully another contributor to my Brazen Biker Babes movie, Michael Reiser. And I will also be posting up a link today. I'd appreciate it if all of you would take 5 minutes to get acquainted with his music. He's also asking you to vote for him in a competition that he's currently in, so please take the time and the moment to do so as far as that goes. Last thing that I want to touch on, of course, which I mentioned the other day, I cannot thank, there's just so many of you that I can't even begin to start the names to show my gratitude and my appreciation, my love and respect to all of you who have been on the forefront of supporting my sadness, for lack of a better term. I realize that it's been nothing short of sad and difficult. I'm sure if you watch my page, you realize that things have been very, very hard. And I'm not going to lie, it's been very challenging, accepting with betrayal by a friend, betrayal by a loved person, someone that I was involved with, and difficulties involving my children. It's just all kind of come to a head. And I just want all of you to know that I'm still here and that I'm managing as best as I can. And I want you to know how appreciative I am of everything that you're doing. All the words, all the messages, all the texts, all the support, all the posts. I don't miss anything, and I see them and I appreciate them. So I just want you to know that I'm grateful, just as I am to all of you that listen into my show and support it, promote it, and are part of it. So thanks to all once again. I look forward to seeing you on the radio tomorrow sometime. Have yourselves a great day.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.